just after the primary elections and all that. So is this true? Or if it is true, how are the chances looking like for the PDP with some of the chieftains of the party against the candidate?
I mean, we know things have happened, and we can see it's out there for everybody to see. We've seen this support from Bodejo, like you mentioned. We've seen that. We've seen the Lagos Bataki people come together and so on. We've seen all that. So it's no longer news, it's not a rumor either. And he went through a clear narrative of how that journey went. I mean, for everyone that watched the interview this morning, you saw him say all that. But for us, it's even beyond that. That's on one side. The major conversation on the table is about the candidacy of this young man. He's 45 years old, by the way, and a man who is determined, who has focus, who is self-driven. That, for me, is the story here that we need to tell. Politics will always be politics. You know how there are always different dimensions of politics, and it will always be played. So you need to expect that. Anybody that thinks is going to walk into a political space and expect things not to happen, I mean, you should go back home and sit down. I mean, so you will expect all these intrigues to play out. But the major focus, we shouldn't take our eye off the prize. Put our eyes on it. And the prize here is that the leadership of Lagos State is at stake, and we have a very golden opportunity to turn things around. This monopoly that has been upon our necks for the last 24 years, we have the opportunity in Lagos to change that and turn the narrative for the better. We can be much more than we are today, and that's the conversation that we have on the table, and that's the candidacy that Jando is pushing.
I'm just concerned because I've seen very good men beaten by the bog of politics when they get into office. You're a good man. You get in there and you come out, and we're looking at you like, was this the same man we used to know? And that's why I'm concerned about, okay, this Jando you're saying is a good man. What is the assurance that when he gets there, he's going to continue to be that good man, that resilient person who will not play by the books written by someone else?
I explained something to you. I said we took time out to look at the political terrain. Like I said, this journey didn't start today. It was something that we've been building over the last couple of years. We sat down and looked at what happens to all the guys that have come out to rule. Where did they get it right? Where did they get it wrong? What were the things that they needed? What happened to all of them? And we weighed all these things critically, did workshops, sessions on all of this, got people to give us their comments. So we understand where the pitfalls are. We understand what you need to stand on, the pedestals to stand on, and those things we understand. The guarantee that I'm putting on the table is we know, this is someone that we know, someone that we've been with, and for people that know him, know how strong-willed he is. And that, for me, are the ingredients that you need to get things done. He promises and he delivers. And he understands that it won't be easy. Let me not say different. But as long as you have a focus and you have a destination, and we will be answerable. For me, one of the biggest things that he comes on to this table with is the fact that he is an independent candidate. No godfather asking him to do something otherwise.
What are some of the antecedents that he has that people will have confidence in that he will be a good leader?
He's a self-starter. That's somebody that is self-made. That, for me, is... We're not talking about someone that was born with a silver spoon or that went to Ivy League school and everything and all that. We're talking about somebody who was self-made. He was born in Mushi. So if you understand, he went through that and came out to be who he is today. He owns a media empire, core media. I'm sure you have that. I mean, he built himself up to that point. And these are little things. He's been an employer of labor for a long time. Has a lot of people that he's an employer, people that he's trained. He has a philanthropic foundation that ensures he empowers people on a regular basis. I'm thinking of somebody who understands the yearning. He has seen where the shoe pinches for a lot of downtrodden people, the people that have been forgotten, and he understands that. So he's not one that will come out and will forget where he's from. And that empathy that he has is one of his major attributes. And for me, once you have that, what we demand of our leaders, and if our leaders can have this, we'll be a much better nation, is what I call compassion. And that's something that he has. Once you have compassion and you have that conscientiousness in you, you're definitely going to be a leader that you definitely will deliver on your promise. the most important part of this is the fact that he is not encumbered. No godfather that will tell him to do otherwise. Once you have that, your own man, you will take your own decisions. It is clear. You've put together a blueprint. You have a manifesto. We have a manifesto. It's there online for people that want to see. Those things are things that will hold him up to. And guess what? He has that corporate experience, having run the business. He understands governance. He understands governance at that point. He will ensure that people are brought up to speed. He will carry everybody along. He's a unifier. He's been across all the divides. He's at home with our guys from the southeast. He's at home with our guys from the north. He's at home for the guys with the middle belt. He's gone to all the people, seen them. Everybody that makes Lagos Lagos. He's at home with everybody, and that is who you want to lead you, a unifier. As long as you are in this state and you are part of contributing to his prosperity, you are a friend of Jandor.
Well, I don't know. When you use the word unifier, we're wrapping up anyway. When you use the word unifier, a lot of things come into my mind because your principal at the national level used the unifier, and the party was in disarray just before the election. In Rivers State, the governor was not there. We had the G5 and all that. The unifier became a... Is there a word like disunifier? Right now, I hear that 2 ministers, former ministers, and 3 other persons in Kebbi State have been suspended by the party PDP. And in Rivers State, we heard that the party didn't really go. There is an Atiku camp, there is a Wike camp, and all that. Thank God it's not okay, I hope it's not the same thing in Lagos State. We can only wish you well on Saturday. But just a final word to Lagosians. You've been talking to me. Talk to them now in 1 minute.
For me, I think Lagosians, it's important to look at the candidates that you have before you. Who amongst the candidates is a self-starter? A man that understands what needs to be done. This is the guy that's planned for this. He had the vision. He's put all the ingredients needed to build a movement. He single-handedly raised the movement. You've heard of the Lagos for Lagos movement. It came from him putting things together. He has a grassroots followership, large grassroots followership across all the 20 local governments of Lagos State, where people are willingly following his lead, simply because they believe in the vision that he's got. And he saw that he's not someone that just fell from somewhere, or he's riding on some godfather, or there's a wave that he's riding on. He's a self-made, and that for me is very, very important. And I'm talking about Lagos State politics, how it's been played. Once you remove the encumbrance of a godfather, and we need to make that point, I can't overemphasize it. Once you remove that encumbrance, you become a man that you are now focused on delivering for the people, and totally for the people. You open, and what is about Lagos? Open up Lagos economy so that other players can come into it, and we'll all be beneficiaries of that move. That is what we need to do. This is the man that can do that. He's ready. And you need a man for the moment. Again, we say you need somebody who is not easily cowed, or you push over, or doesn't understand what it is. He's a true Lagosian. He understands what's going on. He understands how to communicate in the local dialect as well. I mean, he doesn't need to.
Don't bring that.
No, but I'm not saying true Lagosian, true Lagosian. So true and true. And for me, this is someone that you need that is a man for the moment. And I can't overemphasize enough. A true self-starter who is ready to lead, who has all the ingredients that is needed for him to lead at this moment. Because you can't go and want to take power and think that it will serve to you. You have to be determined enough. You have to have all that needs to happen. He knows all the things that needs to be done. And the fact that he understands how the ruling party operates from the inside, it's a major plus for him. So whatever antics or tricks, he'll be right there waiting for them. And that for me is someone that you need. If you vote for PDP on Saturday, your votes will be protected and they will count. That is the man that we need for this state to move us forward.
Okay, well, like I said, we say good luck to Jandor, good luck to PDP, and all the people who are contesting under the platform. That's all we can say now. And we can also say to the people that Saturday is a major decider in Lagos State. Well, we've been talking with Wale here on the program, and we do hope that people will turn out on that day, because there was so much fear.
I know. So, that's another thing I need to put in, if you will. There's been conversations that have gone on. We've gotten assurances from the police and other security agencies as well. People shouldn't have any fear. They should come out and vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's the much we can take from him. Like I said, we wish him well. And we're going to take a short break. And when we return, we'll be talking with the candidate of the People's Democratic Party far in Delta State, who said that he escaped assassination a few days ago. Stay with us.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on Plustv Africa.
With their so-called experience in 2019, Lagos's poverty rate was 4.5% and today it's 8.5% with 4.2 million Lagosians in extreme poverty. It is only an inexperienced manager that will pump 10 billion naira into an employment scheme to address unemployment rate of 14.6% in 2019. And today, same unemployment rate has gone up to 37.16% with 1.8 million Lagosians having no jobs. The duo of Jando and Funke have been investing in Lagos's economy for about 2 decades, running their personal businesses, employing people with track records of success. Lagos needs a breath of fresh air. Vote Dr. Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran.
When you hear of drug abuse, what comes to your mind?
When we say drug abuse, it seems like something that is so distant, but it's happening every day in our homes.
1 in every 4 persons has mental illness.
Regardless of your notion of what drug abuse is, you are sure to get the right meaning here. Welcome to Regardless, an anti-drug abuse television show put together by Christ Against Drug Abuse Ministry.
Regardless, the anti-drug abuse show, airing on Plustv Africa every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to 2 things. 1, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plustv Africa.
Shola Funmi wow, she describes herself as an investor 24/7. She's a media professional and has read over 350 books and thousands of articles on investing and companies. So now let's talk about this switch from the media to becoming this finance coach. Yes.
Okay, I realized that, look, I was doing well in media. I mean, I wasn't earning badly. But what was I putting aside? And I'm one of those hustlers. I'm sure a lot of us know, women, Nigerian women. So I'd sold everything: hair, shoes, clothes. I'd even owned trucks. I mean, those 15-ton trucks that you see on the road. Yes, I owned about 2 or 3 in all of the business I was doing. I just found out that it took away from my corporate life. I had to be chasing people. I had to be monitoring all of those things. I figured there has to be a simpler way to make money. And that's how I delved into investing.
Effiong Effa Inyong, who made waves as a sports journalist on radio.
Democratic Party PDP for the March 18, 2023 governorship election in Delta State, Sheriff Oborevori on Sunday reportedly escaped gunmen attack along the Warri-Sapele highway. The Delta PDP governorship candidate, who is also the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, was returning from Sapele to Osubi when the deadly attack occurred. The convoy of the Delta State PDP governorship candidate, Right Honorable Sheriff, on Sunday, March 12, 2023, came under heavy attack from the unknown gunmen between Elume Junction and Okwabude in Okwe local government area of the state. Joining us to discuss this is Ambassador Ogaga Ogeneyole, Deputy DG More for Delta Youths Project. Good evening and welcome, Ogaga. Okay, so just walk us through what really happened leading to the attacks that has your governorship candidate is saying he went under.
Okay, of course you understand that we are in very extraordinary times where every political party and their candidates are moving around conversing for votes and putting finishing touches to their campaign as the campaigns draw to a close. So it was on Sunday evening when our candidate was returning from Sapele, as you rightly read, after meeting some persons in Sapele, some candidates in Sapele. And of course, you should understand that Sapele is one of our candidate's stronghold, being that Sapele local government and Okpe local government are the same people under one kingdom, which is the Okpe kingdom. Sapele people living in Sapele local government or Sapele people are also Okpe aborigines who, aside from their local government delineation, they are the same people under the same kingdom that has the same king, the Sapele and the Okpe people. And our candidate is, of course, from the Okpe kingdom, just that he is from the Okpe local government. And so it's understandable because that area is actually an area where he was sway. And also understanding the fact that that federal constituency, which is the Osudi, Sapele, Okpe, and Uwe federal constituency, had never produced any governor before in the past. So the people take the sheriff's candidacy very serious, and of course that place is a stronghold. He went to Sapele for some campaign, and when he was coming back on Sunday, the convoy was attacked by unknown gunmen, and these gunmen were wearing like normal common criminals, because from the reports we have, when our candidate fell under attack, the security personnel that is attached to the speaker, to our candidate, engaged them in a gun battle for about 10 minutes before they were able to successfully get our candidate through that place. And then, of course, you ask yourself, is it a small criminal or just a common roadside armed robber that would have the capacity, the gun power to be able to engage a sitting speaker's security detail for up to 10 minutes? Because the candidate we are talking about is not just anybody, but the candidate is the sitting speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly and a governorship candidate as well. So you can understand the security itinerary or the security that has to go with him. And for such a group to be able to engage this security architecture for over 10 minutes tells you that these people were not just robbers that were standing on the way. They were not just criminals that were looking for prey. They were persons that specifically targeted the speaker. Of course, if you understand that way very much, we know that a couple of times here and there,
well, Gaga, your audio is not really good enough. Maybe you would exit and rejoin. I don't know, whatever it is going to be. Okay, we can hear you better now. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
So as I was saying, if you understand, for those who understand Arab, we agree that for maybe sometimes that there are robbers who attack road users, but there haven't been incidents of attacking heavily protected politicians or highly placed persons. Just a pocket of local armed robbers around that place. But this is just way different. You could see from the pictures of the vehicles, the vehicles of the convoy of the speaker. You see the level of attack. You see gun penetration. You know that these arms were heavy arms, and for them to be able to engage the speaker's security details for 10 minutes tells you that these people are prepared. And of course, we have been asking, we have been thrown to begin to ask how people can go, how far people can go in these political times. Who is afraid of the candidacy of Sheriff, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborowere, who doesn't want him to be alive until Saturday for the election? These are questions that these attacks have raised. Because, of course, we are worried that the continuous rise of the acceptance and the popularity of our candidate has begun to attract some attack to him. You know, this attack did not just start from this armed attack. From the very first day Sheriff started contesting, it was attack. I've been on this TV station before to address issues. It started from a normal social media attack. They attacked his credibility. They even went to court to determine the authenticity of his result, and the Supreme Court put laid a rest to that. After that, they continued. This man is one of the most highly attacked politicians on social media today. Why? Because, of course, they know that Sheriff is man of the people. Sheriff is somebody that you can't just help not liking him. Sheriff is somebody that is accepted by us. So we are very worried that these persons are taking politics to another level. And we are saying that this is not the kind of politics we want to play, especially in
but for now, that's just conjecture, because all over Nigeria, we're seeing armed bandits doing their thing. So I don't know if you have concrete evidence to show that this is a political attack. It could have been anyone, could have been people who just wanted to rob them, could have been anybody, because that is not the first time we're seeing bandits with higher firepower even than the police. So what gave you the idea that it has to be a political one?
I will not be talking about clear evidence, because I am not security operative, I'm not a security personnel, and I'm very careful because this is a national TV. But I can tell you from analysis, like from what I said before, whereas we are the residents of Delta State, we understand that route very well. And I quite accepted that once in a while there are a couple of robbery incidents in that route. But at no time have we recorded a robbery attack on high level and very highly protected politicians on that route. And of course, if you analyze the strength of their firepower, you understand that these people are not just people who set out to rob. It is very difficult to attack a convoy of just ordinary person who has protected himself, not to talk about the Speaker of a state. After the governor and the deputy governor, that is the Speaker of a state, that person is very protected.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ogaga Agene, for confirming that really happened. And no matter what it is, we just thank God that he is alive today, and he's going to go into the election on Saturday. And we wish him well. We wish your team well. We wish your party well. Good fortunes in the elections. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show.
Very much, and God bless you.
We're talking with Ogaga Agene from Delta State, confirming that the governorship candidate of PDP was attacked, actually, at Sapele. And unfortunately, that's how we're going to wrap it up on the show this evening. We do hope that you had a wonderful time. Let's do it again tomorrow. My name is Nyamgul Agaji.
Nigeria has produced and continues to produce great writers who have won great accolades and recognition for their work. When discussing African literature, names like Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, and Buchi Emecheta. But beyond these writers, exist modern writers redefining the fate of literature in Nigeria, Africa, and globally. 1. Chimamanda Adichie. The recipient of a MacArthur Foundation Fellowship was born on the 15th of September 1977 in Enugu, Nigeria. As a teenager, Chimamanda left for the United States and gained a scholarship to study communication at the Drexel University in Philadelphia, then pursued a degree in communication and political science at Eastern Connecticut State University. Her works have been translated into over 30 languages and has appeared in various publications, including The New Yorker, the O. Henry Price Stories, and the Financial Times. Some of her books, like The Purple Hibiscus, Half of a Yellowstone, and Americana, have won various awards. Her 2012 talk, We Should All Be Feminists, started a worldwide conversation about feminism and was published as a book in 2014. Tomi Adeyemi. Tomi, the author of Children of Blood and Bone, was born on August 1st, 1993, in the United States to parents who emigrated from Nigeria. After graduating Harvard University with an honors degree in English literature, she received a fellowship to study West African mythology, religion, and culture in Salvador, Brazil. Her debut novel, Children of Blood and Bone, has spent over 2 years on the New York Times bestseller list, and its film adaptation is currently in active development with Disney's Fox and Lucasfilms. She was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people. She is a Hugo and Nebula award-winning Nigerian-American writer and storyteller based in Los Angeles, California. In 2020, she was named one of Forbes 30 Under 30 in media, and her website has been named one of the best websites for writers by Writers Digest. Teju Cole. Teju Cole is a novelist, photographer, and curator. He was born in 1975 in the U.S. He is currently the Gore Vidal Professor of the Practice of Creative Writing at Harvard University. His novella, Every Day is for the Thief, was named a Book of the Year by the New York Times, The Globe and Mail, NPR, and The Telegraph, and shortlisted for the PEN Open Book Award. Another one of his books, Open City, also featured on numerous Book of the Year lists and won the PEN Hemingway Award, the New York City Book Award for Fiction, and was shortlisted for the National Book Critics Circle Award and the New York Public Library Young Lions Award. Teju Cole has contributed to New York Times, The New Yorker, Granta, Brick, and many other magazines. Akwekwe Emezi. Born 1987, Emezi is a National Book Foundation 535 honoree. She was born in Umuahia and raised in Aba, Nigeria. Her adult novel, The Death of Vivek Oji, was a New York Times bestseller, an indie bestseller, and an indie next selection, receiving rave reviews from the New York Times, USA Today, NPR, the LA Times, and the Washington Post. Her debut autobiographical novel, Freshwater, is in early development as a TV series at FX, with Emezi writing and producing with Tamara P. Carter. Translated into 12 languages, Freshwater won the 2019 Otherwise Award, formerly the Tiptree, and the Normal Book. It was a New York Times notable book, as well as a finalist for the Center for Fiction's First Novel Prize, the PEN Hemingway Award, the NYPL Young Lions Fiction Award, the Edmund White Award for Debut Fiction, and a Lambda Literary Award. Beyond these writers are more individuals, old and young, using the power of the pen and ink to change the face and narrative of the country and the continent.
Reading is an essential habit and a culture that must be developed. Nigerians are generally believed to have a poor reading culture. The role of government in promoting reading and equipping reading spaces and libraries in Nigeria cannot be underestimated. But first, we must look at the development of reading habits from the home and the role parents play in encouraging their children.
My parents, my mom used to be a teacher, so reading was obviously part of a curriculum. And then my father used to be a professor and is an author. So I started reading very, very early, and I started reading books that were higher than my age grade. I was reading African writer series from age 7, age 8, and reading encyclopedias by that time. So obviously my parents had a huge part and encouraged that in me.
In the Nigerian book market, there's a high influx of foreign authors writing for children, but very few Nigerian authors telling relatable, homegrown Nigerian stories.
If you start out reading stories even to your baby, even before they're 1, and then as they get older, buy appropriate materials that are colorful, with easy to read words, and read with them. I think that helps.
Adedotun Enyade, a co-founder of Robin Heights, a leading bookstore in Nigeria, has tips for Nigerian authors and how they can improve on their work and get into the hearts of readers.
The story has to be good, right? If you're writing, whatever you're writing, if you're writing fiction, if you're writing non-fiction, it has to be really, really compelling, one. Next thing would be in terms of the packaging, right? People have gone past the era where you just take your books to just about any printer to print for you. I think, publishers, self-published authors as well, they need to invest in ensuring that the quality of the book, the final output is one that would, stack up with any book, published, elsewhere in the world. So that's really important. Then I think, what would be the most important tip for me to them would be just, they need to invest in marketing.
The book business, like any other business, is challenging.
If you ask anyone who's running the business in Nigeria, they will tell you capital, of course, right? Book selling is also, as with any other business, is also quite capital intensive. Getting to pay your rent, getting to actually buy the books and stock up your shelves when you have them. Hiring good people requires decent amount of capital. So I would say it's getting the startup funds to set up something, and then if you're looking to do it at scale like we're hoping to do, then it also requires you raising funding, which isn't readily available in commercial banks, right? I don't think a bank would say they want to give you a loan to set up a bookstore. They probably will be skeptical about the number of people who read. So for us, I think it's just I would say capital is at the top of the totem pole.
It is commendable that certain individuals and organizations are making concerted efforts to revive the reading culture in the country. The government should also redesign the school curriculum to incorporate more reading activities in primary and secondary schools.
A landmark project, the first standard gauge in the history of this country where you would see an administration start and end the same project within the life of an administration. I'm indeed delighted to be speaking today on behalf of my brother governors of Ogun and Oyo State. Of course, it passes through these 3 states. The Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail project. It is a testament to the commitment of Mr. President to deliver the transformational infrastructure to every part of his nation.
Perhaps what many may not know, this infrastructure development project has faced so many challenges in the course of its execution and delivery. And without the full support and steadfast encouragement of Mr. President, this event would not have taken place today. We cannot thank him enough. Your Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, you are very, very warmly welcome, sir. Today marks the historic day of the official commissioning ceremony and the flag off by His Excellency the President for full commercial operation, the newly constructed standard gauge Lagos to Ibadan railway line.
This occasion is the third time Mr. President is commissioning a standard gauge railway infrastructure project, completed and delivered under his watch. Your Excellency, why I insisted that you must come to commission this project is because the naysayers will say you are not the person that started the project. They will say we met it halfway and you completed it. So I've lost that car. What is important is to show them that the project was started by you and finished by you.
The Lagos to Kano Railway project, when completed, will link the Kano-Maradi line at the Kano and a rail link from Nigerian southern ports of Lagos to Maradi in the Niger Republic will be achieved. The connection through rail would position Nigerian ports as the choice for import and export business of the people of landlocked Niger Republic.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Musaywa Miss Sally, and today my Monday tonics are with me. Hello, Chinalo and Diola.
Hello, your Monday.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
How are you doing? How was your weekend? Bogboero. Honestly, I don't know. I was not in the mood to leave my house this weekend. Like literally, I was home. I didn't go nowhere. I was not just in the mood. You know how you're just not in the mood.
Well, I wasn't in the mood either, but then I just had to be out. From Friday, I had a 40th birthday party to attend. Saturday, I was out and about. Sunday, church.
And I hear our governor was shaking hands. So it was your church. I was wondering what church was it. Governor Sanwo-Olu was shaking hands. I said, well, that's innovative. I actually like the idea.
Okay.
Of
Now it's nobody's birthright.
It's not your birthright. You know, everybody do the work.
Exactly.
You will earn the position. I mean, like, he's really putting in the work.
He is.
Now, I heard today he sent letters to the entire residents of Oniru.
Yeah.
Then
really? Personal letters. Yeah, they received personal letters today.
Wow.
Then he's been visiting different churches and all of that. I said, wow.
And licking ice cream.
How do they say it?
Well done.
No, how do they say, like, may your this thing be rewarded or something?
May your labor.
In Yoruba.
How do you say in Yoruba? Jola.
Jola left.
I left the WhatsApp group. But I mean, so it was your church. I didn't know. Chinelo, go ahead.
I wasn't there because that's not the church I went to on Sunday. I went to another church. So I just saw the messages and then I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. He was actually there. And it was right in front where you usually have the church greeters. So now the church has even moved to a different, location now. And he was just there saying hi to everybody, smiling at people. And what the church greeters would normally do was what Governor Someone was. It was beautiful to see anyway. True. We look forward to more of that.
After the elections. It's not now.
He will come and say thank you.
I want governance that is, to, like, you understand, shows love. So you don't have to wait for an election season. See, let me tell you something. Let's wait. It's our conversation.
That is what we're talking about today. So
how are you, Diola? How was your weekend?
Oh, okay.
But it was restful. It was, I mean, it was okay. And I wasn't exactly looking forward to the week. I mean, it's all the same drama. It's exhausting. It's draining. The weather is not friendly. You know, you just want to crawl in your bed and just be and just keep drinking water. Really. So,
I know that feeling. Yeah. You're inside the house, you're spending money. You're outside the house, you're spending money. So, God help us. Amen. The prayer is for our streams of income to be increased. All right, so today we're discussing the gubernatorial race, right? And here's what we found as today's quote. Every citizen of this country should be guaranteed that their votes matter, that their vote is counted, and that in the voting booth, their vote has a much weight as that of any CEO, any member of Congress, or any president. I mean, this is very powerful, right? So as we all know, the gubernatorial election was extended by one more week, as announced by INEC, and as disappointing as the postponement of the governorship elections may seem, given the preparedness of Nigerians to cast their vote, the rescheduling of the elections from March 11 to March 18, 2023 would only give us more room to sensitize ourselves and prepare to cast our votes come March 18. And today we have Dan the Humorous. He'll be joining us to discuss the gubernatorial race. We'll do all of that first. Let's go on a break. When we come back from the break, we'll see what we found in the news.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshukeye.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely, right? No question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, no.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild. This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity.
No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event
on Plus TV. Stay glued to Plus TV Africa every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
All right, you are still watching Ways, and Commonwealth Day 2023 also marks the 10th anniversary of the signing of the Commonwealth Charter, which was signed by Her late Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II on March 11, 2013. The Commonwealth flag for peace features a white dove of peace in the bottom right-hand corner of the Commonwealth flag, symbolizing the shared values and principle of the Commonwealth, including cooperation on the economic and social development, diversity, respect, friendship, and promotion of peace around the world. So, happy Commonwealth Day.
Happy
What are the
Commonwealth
benefits
Day.
of being part of the Commonwealth? Okay. the way Diolate do.
I don't know. I mean, well, maybe I don't know is not the right thing. I don't see it.
Really?
Oh, okay, maybe. I mean, if you want to go very professional or very patriotic, and they will say, okay, all the bilateral trades and all that. But I mean, to the average person on the street, I don't see it.
So you don't think there's peace?
Well, there is peace. I mean, and well, I mean, if you put it like that, there is peace, and there is peace.
Well, for me,
Within the Commonwealth?
Yeah. I think the Commonwealth nations are actually trying, to be honest, right? Because they're beginning to now embrace that whole diversity. Everybody's looking at each other and willing to have, you know, do business in quotes, you know, have people in their countries study and things like that. So,
is it free?
in that light, well, it's not free.
Well, that's another dimension.
Okay, so what did we find in the news?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so man laments shredded old Naira notes in viral video. I think we have this video to play. A yet to be identified man has lamented the heap of shredded old Naira notes amidst the Naira scarcity in the country. In the video shared on social media today, the voice behind the camera was just raising how old Naira notes are shredded and disposed of. And he spoke in pidgin English. He said, if you look closer, you will go see say na money. Them grind money, see money, all this one na money, then grind down.
Ew. Ew.
And here I am,
This makes
looking
me
for
so
200
sad.
naira to buy a bottle of water when I'm outside.
It's just
And
okay.
look
So,
at this.
did an individual do this?
I mean, I
or
have many questions. Because where is this?
Where is
starting?
this place? First of all,
I wish he went ahead to tell us.
Because
where
I
it
have a
happened.
feeling that the CBN, right? What would they do with the old Naira
Old
notes
They're gonna
if they don't shred it? They will destroy it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need to know first of all where this site is located.
yes.
You know, and again,
we need to also
This is a
know
lot
is this Nigeria?
of money. Wow. A lot of money. A lot of money. And here we are crying, looking for cash here and there.
I can imagine. We'll have to find where the source of
Yeah,
this is,
yeah.
then we can then tell maybe it was a government authority
Yeah.
that, because again, I mean, all the notes that they are collecting, definitely they're supposed to dispose of it.
course.
I don't know if you ever watched that movie that three women working in like something that's like the CBN, where they were stealing the old damaged
no-
notes.
they
I
were-
can't remember the name of that movie.
I
It was
can't
such a beautiful movie to watch. How they were moving the money. I think Queen Latifah was one of them. I need to find the name of that movie. It's an old movie. An old movie. All right, so what did you find for us, Diola?
Okay, so this headline is CBN has directed banks to dispense old Naira notes, says Soludo. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo said the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks to dispense old Naira notes. Soludo said CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele made the disclosure to him in a phone conversation on Sunday night. Commercial banks have been directed by the CBN to dispense old currency notes and also receive same as deposits from customers. Tellers at the commercial banks are to generate the codes for deposits, and there is no limit to the number of times an individual or company can make deposit. So, I mean, this for me is just all shades of, there are no words for this, because, I mean, you're saying that if this is by the central bank, I mean, I would expect that their corporate communications department should have done a press release. I mean, in considering the agitation in the country, considering that there's a lot of news flying up and down, you don't know what is real, what is not real, you know, you would want to make sure that the people are hearing directly from you. So you have a communique, a press conference, do it loud, so it is clear to everyone. So we have a situation where somebody is saying this, another person is saying that, and you can't even verify the authenticity of it, you know. So again, I mean, last week I was speaking to a couple of people, and even up till this morning, they were very emphatic on the fact that they were not going to trade on old notes. They would not collect it. They would not spend it. So you have governors writing. I saw a press release or a letter by Governor Sanwo-Olu just before I came in now that said that people should transact business. People should go about their daily business using 200, 500, 1,000 old notes, you know. So again, governors are, it is almost as if they're all trying to be, I don't know, is it nice? Is it politically correct? I don't even know what is going on. You know, so so what happens if this story or this is not even, if CBN is still adamant on the fact that
that's why I said I'm curious to know where Chinelo's story is linked to, because if Chinelo's story is linked to that, it is, so for instance, the only person that has the audacity to do this would be a public like a CBN. So if that money is being shredded, they have no plans to take the money back. So, and again, I think Emefiele and the CBN, they should go on their official handle, Twitter, their website, post it and say this is what it is, because there's so much confusion. Too much. That Abiodun today was giving ultimatum. Sanwo-Olu has given ultimatum. Everybody has collected. Now someone was telling me that they actually went to the bank. They said no problem, they will give you old Naira note, but you cannot return it back to the bank. You know, and so I mean, it's a bit tricky because now you are living. You know, they say when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. Citizens are the ones suffering now with this tug of war of who will. Let me see who will laugh last. You understand, between CBN and the Supreme Court and the governors, right? It is the people that are suffering because we don't even know what's happening anymore, right? So how do we even verify what to do? Because we're at loss. We don't know what to do. You know, but on the flip side. On the flip side, the queues in supermarkets are getting longer. Oh, yeah. But guess what? Market women are suffering. Someone sent me a picture of a poultry. The entire, what's it called, production, because the transactions that they deal with, they deal in cap. But I'm just wondering, is a company, why can't you do transfers, right? You know, the other lady, there was a video of a woman, I think, selling plantain or something, that everything was just complete. I mean, people are actually suffering. The people that deal with cash
they are
trade,
suffering.
You know, it's sad.
They are. Because okay, so someone was saying to me that I also raised this question. I mean, what is the issue? You have a bank account, you can transfer, and she said that so it's easy for her to transfer, but the people she's transferring to, they don't do that kind of. They're rural people because it's a farm, and they're very small scale.
So that's why I'm saying to you that, because the poultry picture that I saw, this is a big, huge farm. I'm saying to you that, see, there's a downside to all of this, and there's no doubt. But you see, even in the sense of it, because I have been in business for a very long time, and I know that part of what helped me to be able to get access to some of the fundings and all of that is because my transactions are documented through a bank statement. You understand? Most of these people, they deal in a lot of transactions, but when it comes to
documentation,
time to upscale their businesses, they can't upscale because they don't have a transaction history. So I think this is just a time to rethink. It's tough. There's no doubt about it. What I even think is people are even suffering from more is, and I wish that I can ask Sanwo-Olu, how does he plan to, what's it called, how does he plan to incorporate this cowrie system that he's doing for the trains to the buses? Okay. Do you understand? So the way you have your Oyster card, I had not been to the UK in like 7 years or how many years. I went, my card was working. I just went, I just topped it up, and I was able to go to everywhere I was going to. I mean, that's how the cowrie card should be. Do you get? So it's not just enough for us to use it for fancy trains and all of that. Let us be able to transact with the cowrie with our downfall buses. And guess what? It just helps to reduce a lot of, you know, all the fight, all the whatever, and all of it reduces it.
It even removes the agbero.
It removes it. It just removes all those things. So if you know that you are paying taxes already to be deducted from source,
True.
Then they can even trap their tax more. All the traffic that we have on the roads, we need to get those people off the road.
And their data, you know, I mean, this is just data.
Do you
All
understand?
this is, you know.
So my story is actually very interesting. I found it very interesting. I said, wow, this is not a funny thing. So they said about another 25 Nigerian nurses face forgery charges in the US. So according to the report, that following a very high-end investigation that the Texas Board of Nursing in the United States had announced that it had charged no fewer than 75 nurses to court over issues bordering around falsification of certificates, that on the list, right, posted on the website of the board, at least 43 of those names were identified nurses of Nigerian descent or Nigerian origin. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And they had reported that 18 Nigerian nurses in the US were charged with certificate forgery. So, I mean, you see all of these things that people are doing. The reason I'm taking this story, because I know that they say, my aunt was, I have a lot of people in the nursing, and my aunt, she was a nurse, God bless her soul, until she passed. Part of what they actually look for, one of our best products outside of Nigeria are Nigerian trained nurses.
Yeah.
So it is, so I don't understand why. And the cost to go and get your nursing certificate is not a big deal.
It's ridiculous.
Do you understand? So the cost is not a big deal. Why? Because I remember she even started very late. She had finished life. She didn't know what to do with her life. She was in her late 20s. She didn't know, and she just took a course in nursing, and she relocated. She married and relocated and she was doing well before she passed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, nursing is one of the easiest things to get. So why do we have to get to that point where we are forging certificates to go and work? Is it that we think that we can get away with some things?
We like shortcuts.
Ha, okay. Oh.
We like shortcuts.
On that note, if they catch you,
on your own.
You're on your own. We'll take a break now. When we come back from the break, let's discuss the gubernatorial race. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to two things. One, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
All right, thanks for staying with us now. The 2023 Nigerian gubernatorial election will be held for state governors in 31 out of 36 Nigerian states. All but 3 elections will be held on the 18th of March, concurrent with elections to every state house of assembly. Now, according to a news source, the postponement followed a ruling by the Court of Appeal in Abuja, sitting as the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, granting the Independent National Electoral Commission the right to reconfigure the bimodal voters accreditation system, that's the BVAS machine, and the commission's statement that it will need 5 working days to reconfigure the BVAS used in the 176,974 polling units where voting will take place for the elections. Now, the development provides perhaps a rare chance and privilege for INEC to execute a credible election that will be acceptable to majority of Nigerians and the international community. This time around, Nigerians expect nothing short of a free and fair election, and we're asking, who is your candidate of choice and why do you believe that they can do the job? And as we discuss the gubernatorial race, you know what we're going to do? Because of our guests, we're going to focus on 2 states, Lagos and Rivers states. so that we don't talk too much. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow Africa1 with the hashtag Wayshow. All right, so who is your guy? So I think, and I've said this thing several times, right? And I like the idea of what is happening in Lagos State. I think for the very first time, I believe that there's truly a race. There's truly a competition, right? It's been like in the past, Jimmy Agbaje would just sleep, wake up 4 years after.
And then we see him everywhere.
Then he goes back to sleep after 4 years. But for the first time, you know, given the work that, what's his name? The Mr. Governor Sanwo-Olu has been going round, sending letters and all that. I said, okay, somebody is actually... I actually like the excitement about what's happening with the gubernatorial race. Again, and this is the coming off of the back of what happened in the presidential race, where people actually saw the number of young people coming out, first-time voters. A lot of people stayed. You know, there was just so much energy around, you know, the elections, and you know, it's now like, you know, what's it called, rubbing off on the governorship race, and that's why you can see, you know, a lot of what's it called, work. Going, you know, visitation, handshake at the church, you know, and all of that. But hey, that's my thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts, Diola. And
well, I mean, like you said, I really like what's going on. I like the hard work they have to put in. I like the fact that now it's not business as usual. Now, again, there is the humane side of them that we're seeing, you know, and like, you know, this popular thing all over social media now, the elections make you it makes you humble, you know. So you actually connect with the people, you know, people who have never seen, you know, had there any opportunity to even get involved in politics. Now they're beginning to say that, oh, did you do this? People are raising concerns. There are issue-based.
And now there's a train wreck. Everybody's visiting. you know. There's just a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. That's cause for excitement, really.
Actually, how about you, Chinelo? What do you think?
More is there to say? What more is there to say? I remember I said this thing the very first time. I was like, I love the pressure that everybody's feeling now, right? So it's not, and now the counterfeit of what people are saying that is just Governor Sanwo-Olu and then Jeremy. There's full show yesterday. Have you read that man's biodata? He actually has something to offer. So it's not
the Dorothy man.
So it's not
but
just
the issue with the other candidates is that the pressure is not as much on with them because of, you know, see, it's still the Peter Obi effect that is, you know, that people are just, I mean, there was a governorship candidate that moved to Labour Party in Delta State. What's his name? I forget his name now. I'll recall his name, right? I mean, he's now the Labour Party candidate for governor. Normally, that thing would not have happened.
It won't happen, yes.
But the reason he has the boldness to be able to move, you know, at dying minutes is because, you know, of the Peter Obi effect, you know. But let me bring in our guest, right? Daniel Chibuzo Walker, popularly known as Dan the Humorous, is a stand-up comedian, an actor, and a political satirist. Now, he is also an on-air personality, an entertainment strategist, and an idea generator. He's also a friend of the house, and he's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you, and good evening, fine ladies. Oh, it's nice to be here.
Yeah, so Dan, I mean, we've been talking, and I see you smiling and laughing. But hey, me, I like the drama that's happening. You know, me, I'm here for the drama. You know, I like the idea that the political season for the 2023 general elections is not business as usual. Every political party now sees the need to want to be empathetic, to be more connecting with the people, because again, it's like, you know what? Please, oh, my re-election is in your hands, or my election is in your hands, and all of that. So we actually see, and we now see the human side of most of the political parties. Now, let me even bring it out, especially in Lagos, because now Lagos concern me. You know, prior to the elections, I remember that I was privy to a few governorship debates that were being organized, you know, and, you know, it seemed like, okay, power of incumbency and all of that, you know. But hey, the governor has come out to give to give his reasons why he did not appear in any of the gubernatorial. I don't know. Go and ask him. But I'm saying to you that, you know, it just seemed like, okay, I have this in the bag.
Yep.
Until the February
Woke up and smelled.
Yeah, February 25th happened, and I don't got it in the bag. So
No more.
now it's almost like every single day, door to door. I mean, a friend of mine told me that the governor's wife was in her estate knocking on each door. Even when we reached out to a few political people running re-elections, House of Assembly and all of, most of them say, I can't come for any TV appearance right now. I'm going to door, I'm knocking and all of that. So, I mean, we see that happening. And it just tells me, okay, now, okay, maybe truly we have what's it called, a race. We have an election. In the past, it's just been, okay, you know, pretend like you're there, but you're not there. But now there's somebody actually giving everybody a run for their money. And I mean, we all can tell that it's the Labour Party candidate. But let me hear your thoughts on the gubernatorial race, how you're viewing it, and how things are, how you're stewing it.
Well, you've, excuse me, you've made quite, I mean, you've really said a whole lot, you know, about the whole situation. For the first time in a very long time, particularly in a state like Lagos, you're seeing an actual competition between not one party or two persons, but I mean, I see it as even a party of three persons, because prior to February 25th, Jandor had quite some momentum, you know, and he was all over in the news and all of that, you know. And then we see the GRV effect, and of course, you know, Funsho Doherty as well, even Hakeem Dixon of Accord, are also not people that you can push over necessarily. But then when you look at those who have the local spread across the wards and the units and all of that, it probably boils down to three. So it is beautiful. And this is because, in fact, the whole Peter Obi business and everything is because the reality of Nigeria's situation has hit the middle class, and it has hit the middle class real hard. Before now, you had the very rich and the very poor in their extreme conditions, and then you had the guys in the middle. So, for example, when you have those who take minimum wage, you have those who take maximum wage in billions and hundreds of millions. Then you have us who are in the medium wage, people who maybe monthly pays between, say, 300,000 to $1 million, which was seemingly comfortable for them. All of a sudden, 1 million is not 1 million naira anymore. And then we begin to ask questions, what's going on? And then you now have people like Peter Obi and co. now speaking to those pains, right? And that is basically what we've seen play out. And I would say that for the governor of Lagos, I think personally, I feel like his PR people are really doing him more damage than good. Because see, you are, even though you're going into an election, you are the governor. You still occupy that number one office. That office comes with a lot of prestige. It comes with a lot of, you know, statesmanship. It comes with a lot of, how will I even say, like, you know, it's a big office.
I beg to disagree.
So, no, I'm coming. So, you don't do something that is out of your element. You don't do something that you normally do. If before now, in the last 3-4 years, he used to come to every church, he used to be at the malls, he used to do this and that, who can say, but we know that you've not been around. Let's even say you were busy with the presidential. It's not in your character that we know for you to appear in the malls holding ice cream. It's not in your character that the few church programs, I mean, they just did City of David building some weeks ago where he attended. He was there as a guest of honor with the vice president and Daddy Gio. You didn't see him at the back of church telling members bye-bye. You didn't see him in Ebuka's church dancing Chineke Nemema. You haven't seen him in Computer Village before, or all those places. So once you go, I felt that for a governor, you've had the opportunity to work for 4 years. All you needed to have done, or all you need to do, is remind the people. The people are angry. Oh, yes, but remind them, remind those demographics that, look, I've been here for 4 years, I did this. If you give me another chance, I'll make it better by doing this. Because, I mean, we are, how will I put it now? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, in fact, a month to election, people have already made up their minds.
So
there is nothing you can do to sway.
Let me explain something. Does this show to you that it seems, because this is the allegation, it's not me that said it, but they come for me. The allegation is that because there is no work, right? Maybe that's why this...
There's no work.
Yeah, because you said something now. You're the sitting governor. All you need to do is remind the people of the work you've done over the years. What if there was no work that was done?
Then I can't help you.
Let's take a break. Daniel is trying to run away. We'll catch him back. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us now. If you just tuned in, we're discussing the gubernatorial race, right? And we have with us Dan the Humorous. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at Wayshow Africa One with the hashtag Wayshow. Now, the reason I asked that question, or why I posed that to you, you know, because again, like you rightly said, I think the media team, for most of these people in government, not even just only Governor Sanwo-Olu, I don't think they do a fantastic job because, again, there are laudable projects that have been done, but it seems like nobody really pays attention. Again, so it's actually a it's a hydra-headed problem. You know why? So you can do this fantastic grand project. If it is not hitting the people that need it, like if they are not feeling it. Because I remember clearly that when Governor Fashola, you remember after his first term, when something wanted to happen, that they now told him, oh boy, arrange yourself, because if you don't arrange yourself, if this man decides to go to a different political party, you are going to lose the state. So they had to, because why? The people were with Fashola.
Absolutely.
Because they felt his governance, they felt his work.
True that.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So is it a problem of him not working, or the people, or maybe he's doing the work that is not really impacting on the people?
It's clearly, obviously, I think the way it's looking now, because, I mean, we follow the news every day. We see him do one thing or the other. We see him go to one place or the other. But with all that is happening now, it feels like, were we building castles in the air? Were we just doing things that were not really meeting the needs directly of the common man, as we put it? Because again, like if I have the opportunity, I would tell them the people that are thinking for you are a total PR disaster. You don't do this when it is not. See, you don't go out of your element. For election cycle, the first, say, 1, 2, maybe 3 months at the start of the whistle is when you have the opportunity to, you know, sway opinions, move people to your side. When Trump said it, people thought he was joking. He said, look, I can shoot somebody now, you still vote for me, because at that time, people's minds have been made, and it doesn't matter what you do, good or bad. Some of them, if you even bring out your favorite candidates today, and you hear the war story about them, the next thing you hear is even though. Is it the first? Is it the first? Now just small drink, leave them. You understand?
You know, keep person.
You know, keep person. You know, even if you keep person, they will say, what did that person do? Where you kill him. But the thing is, so I would advise the governor, free of charge, sir, take free PR. Remind the people of your works. You've had your, because that's the power of incumbency they talk about. People think the power of incumbency is that you have state structure, you have police, you have this. No, you have other people are coming with, I want to.
You have
I will. You are coming with, I have. So that alone is an advantage. So when you are not looking into that and you are doing all kinds of things, then we have a problem in our hands.
Okay, so I have a school of thought, and it is that, like you said, that this is something he doesn't do, like it's out of his element.
Yep.
But again, I mean, religion is a powerful weapon in politics in Nigeria. You can't discard that. And it is a popular thing, whether right or wrong, that these people who are seeking for office, whether, you know, as an incumbent or a new person, would go to these religious houses. They literally beg to be endorsed by the religious, you know, leaders.
Yeah.
It is almost like a given, because that is Nigeria. That plays a powerful role in how people decide who to vote for, you know, and in choosing their candidates. So maybe he's towing that line, and also again reminding people that, hey, I'm a Christian. It's a weapon.
Yeah, but you have
willing to use it.
You have to toe a line that is natural with you.
Well, I think it's
because what happens,
why I say so,
to shake people for door.
No, Dan. No,
it is the shaking of the door. It's not the attending of the church. Like, for example, let me even go back to Peter Obi. So, years before now, the Catholic people on the island here do unusual praise. Peter Obi is a regular attendee.
Yes, steady.
A couple of times he has been at the experience. So, and of course, at the electioneering season, you see him in a lot more. But you already know that he comes around this spot, right? So, when you do, of course, I mean, His Excellency Sanwo-Olu is an MFM you know, man. He goes to one or
I thought
two.
he was with him.
No, I hear it's MFM.
Okay.
You know, okay, let's say anyone. His church is, okay, for example, let's say Professor Shibajo, right? Professor Shibajo, active pastor in RCCG. So when he was made running mate, you didn't have to talk too much about, oh, he's a pastor or he's not, because people know, even my younger sisters, you know, told me, this man had even given me communion before at Holy Ghost, this thing. You get, everybody can relate. So when they know that, for example, you know that every December, maybe for somewhere like me, every December, I'm in one carnival or the other. I'm in one, you know, Anambra, I'm just having a good time. And then because I'm running an election, you see me in Shiloh. When the last time, personally, Dan, speaking to you, the last time I went to Shiloh is in 2001. So I will not now, I will see, you see that my carnival base that I've been with all year, I will galvanize the best
we just
of
consider
it.
you as an embattled member that decided to come.
What I can now do is I will have my surrogates who vibe within that circle, that they respect their opinions and everything, to speak for me there. But when you go, when last you see him for church? And the same thing to the guy who goes to church. When you now see him in carnival, this thing.
I think,
you know, like,
you know why I say that I beg to differ? Sorry, Chinelo, I know you want to come in. I think it is in Governor Sanwo-Olu's, because I've studied him quite a bit, just a little bit, right? When the NSAS thing happened, you could tell, I think it's his response. That is his natural response to maybe anxiety. He's anxious, right? There's a lot going on. Somebody's putting him on his toes, right? So I think it's his natural response to anxiety. Yes, because again, remember when the NSAS thing happened, he was like that. He was, you know, trying. So I think he's a
good man.
He's a good man, yeah. The
management, they are not managing him.
Yeah, but hey, trust me, right? Whether we like it or not, that strategy is going to work. Because now, people that have not probably seen his wife or seen him in a while, and you know, I mean, there's just that thing that he does.
If I tell you that it will not work, will you believe?
Well, I don't know about you.
Those who have made up their minds have made up their minds.
That's true.
Because the estate he went to be knocking door is where they were living before going to government house.
Yes.
So again, you ask yourself, so I will go back to Shibajo. I was told that where he lives or was living before becoming VP, he still attends estate meeting.
Wow.
As VP. So if he was at the top of the ticket today and he's talking to his neighbors,
they will listen.
So that door we are going to knock in
never
the estate, we
abandon
will not go and ask, since they went to Marina House, what is it called? Have they been connecting with estate people? If not, estate people will open your door, shake your hand, and tell you bye-bye. When you lock and they do, you understand?
So I get that.
Yeah, you come to church, people will clap for you. People will take selfie with you. Have you ever been near a governor before? They will take selfie with you. They will not insult you. I mean, a governor is here. We are happy, but voting wise, when they are between them and that ballot paper, are you sure that that whole communication will convert to them pressing your logo?
I mean, that's what I was just going to say. So you see, like you rightly said, he's always been that man that would go to visit. Even when he was campaigning for governor in the first place, he was in the hairdressing salon, right? We saw that pic.
After then, he did go again.
So that's the thing. He now felt like there was a disconnect.
Just use me and dump me.
So that's what I think that's where people's grievances are actually
it's not
coming
only
from.
unique to Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah.
I mean,
all of them.
I love them.
All of them. But you see, the problem is that
people eating bole.
You were quiet. You were quiet for so long, and then just 1 week before now, that's what people are saying.
Not even
you are now waking up and
not even last
you are going back to back, and then you are giving us good evening, people of Lagos, good morning, dear Lagosians, good afternoon. So everybody's like, why did it have to take you this long? It means that you were just extremely comfortable that this thing is mine, it's going to come back to me. But guy, it doesn't work like that, right?
That's the way
you have to
okay,
get
but
back to
I mean,
work.
you're all ladies here, and I'm sure you've had, you know, masculine relationships at one point or the other, even presently. Haven't there been sometimes that your man does something is just too good, and you're like,
what do you want?
Hold on, what have you done?
What do you want?
What are you about to confess?
Question is, what do you want?
Sometimes he has done something bad. Before you go hear the story, take this, take that, do this. Like, okay, fine. I've forgiven you in advance. What did you do? Because this is just too much right now. You know, so I mean, that's why if, for example, you see somebody like Wike now, Wike is always dancing. Wike is always singing Yendeba. So if he starts doing it in campaigns,
it's
it will
natural
not
to
seem
him.
like
Wike calls.
ordinary.
So let's move to River State because Wike calls conferences like pure water. I don't understand. Any small thing, he has called the press.
When you have good resources, you can.
So tell us what is happening in River State, honestly, because I mean in Delta, what's his name?
Bella. Omar Agege.
Omar Agege is the one that has moved to Labour Party.
No, Omar Agege is of the APC. You have Kempela.
Who is in Labour?
Kempela is in Labour.
Okay.
Then the perpetual contestant, Great Oboru, is in Abga. And then people are saying, oh, and you were in Labour the other time. Why did you just stay? So it's not just in Lagos. We are going to see competition in everywhere. Some states where you have traditional voting. Akwa Ibom, I can't even imagine what will happen. I have my eyes on Akwa Ibom. The APC is strong, the PDP is strong, the Labour, they are pushing, the YPP, that YPP man is one not to be messed with. You know, it's going to be, in River State, it's also going to be so River State now, this is it. We had Wike. First of all, Wike rode into power based on, Amechi did this and that, he became governor, and then he, again, PR management, excellent job. They were able to, magnify, make little things very big. And then they said, okay, they are going to have his candidate, relatively unknown man, civil servant all his life. And then February 25th happened. People saw their will subverted right in front of their eyes. I mean, you heard it, Peter Obi, on another TV station this morning saying, the governor worked against me. What that caused is that the obedience in River State now got angry.
And it's revenge votes.
In fact, some people are saying, since you say APC, want to obey you to the end. So this morning on social media, when Peter Obi's video was posted, when he said, I got 50-something%, some people were commenting, Oga, why are you rigging your own election with your mouth? You got 99%, So you see a lot of revenge voting. Now, the issue now is they are placed within APC Tonye Cole, Beatrice Itubo of Labour. You have Dumo, strong guy from a great family as well, of Accord. You have Senator Magnus Abe of the SDP. And these are the major people against the PDP SIM that they do not know, they have not heard. A candidate running for governor that has not gone for one radio interview. Not one. Not even this.
Because again, he believes
that, but it's not done that way. Other states, the outgoing governors are practically installing them, but you're seeing them coming out. But you see the PDP campaign in River State, the governor still has the last say. When you watch the news coverage, they mention the candidate in passing and put the headline or the caption on what the governor said or didn't say on that particular rally. So you have that. So Beatrice Itubo now, they are now looking, okay, the whole Labour vibe and all of that. But then again, that's another civil servant, former NLC chairman. So all of them, Toyeko stands out based on his global exposure.
And his pedigree.
Exactly. His global exposure, his national
And he also has those celebrities in Port Harcourt trying to work for him.
And to his credit, he is the only candidate amongst all of them that has gone around the 319 wards. Not 23 local governments, 319 wards.
Wow.
Talking with the market people and everything. He's
done the work.
Yeah,
but you think that the APC the APC will be his undoing? So for instance, what happened with Banky W
now that is another dicey thing. So a lot of people are saying, this guy is fantastic, but wrong party. And we are saying to them that I don't understand.
I thought we were
putting individuals. Because are you telling me that you would have, if all the things you heard from Peter Obi, let's say he moved to the APC, last minute contested primaries and won Bola Tinubu and everything, you say, this nice guy that doesn't wear shoe and doesn't wear watch, but is in APC. No, you believe, because if you know the amount, are you not seeing all the corruption cases we are seeing in Labour Party? Are you not seeing, did you not hear that the Labour Party River State chairman, after all the drama he did at the Collation Center, woke up one morning and said they are supporting the PDP and all of that. So some of them have been candidates before Peter came.
Yeah, true.
So how are you sure that they will even keep up to the ideals of Peter? So I tell them that why are we doing ourselves this thing? You know, you're seeing something that is good or not good in your eye, and you want to just do the other one.
Just because
they bite the nose to spite the face or something like that. You know, that because political parties in Nigeria are basically vehicles. Nothing but vehicles. It's not like Republicans that you say this one believe in abortion, this one believe in
our political parties don't have ideologies.
Exactly.
Anywhere that is more that I stand the chance to win is where I go
I tell them that if you have somebody that you know that he will do the work, please, by all means, do it.
I'm just hoping that the APC, what's it called, the revenge against the APC will not affect.
No, the revenge is against the PDP in Rivers State.
No. Well, there's a global revenge against the APC.
Yeah, no. So, but it locally,
it's against Wike.
Yeah. So the thinking is this, and it's funny because so in 2015, so it's like we see history repeating itself. 3 things I will say real quick. So in 2015. Governor Meji moved to the APC. He was expelled out of PDP. He moved to the APC. He was DG and everything. The understanding in town or in the whole state was, oh, we will vote our brother. Good luck. But this governorship, Ikwereman cannot take over from Ikwereman. So we will vote for Peter's side. And then Buhari won election. And the narrative changed. You know, the political propaganda system, as you say, within PDP, Wike. Oh, it is our brother Mechi that led the charge to dislodge Good Luck. Our brother destroyed our brother. So the revenge voting
happened,
came.
yes.
Say, oh, since you led the charge to dislodge our brother, this your brother too will dislodge him. Let Ikwere take over from Ikwere, nothing will happen. Here we are. Today, we see a man. There was an understanding in town again that, we are all obedient. I mean, my unit, PDP, APC, party agents put in their tag inside their
They were hiding it.
And came to vote. When they are counting the vote in my unit, Labour, when they bring out PDP, the same PDP will shout, who be that now? Who be that? You get? And so there was an understanding in town that, presidency, obedient way. In fact, in my unit, they'll tell you all of us were obedient today. In 2 weeks, our quarrel will start. So the understanding was, okay, then we will reward Wike with whoever he wants to put
as
there.
PDP candidate.
Then the next thing, they now started to see America wonder. APC is winning presidency, but PDP is winning National Assembly. You know, the witch cried at night, the baby is dying in the morning. So now we are back again
to that
revenge voting.
Wow.
And one thing I've observed in Rivers history, since 1999, Governor Odili, Governor Mechi, at their exit, the people they wanted to make governors never made it as governor. So will history repeat itself, or will history be changed?
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Incumbents don't always have the whatever.
They try,
but something just happens.
Works against the tide. So this is what we are seeing, because all of a sudden we're talking about Sanwo-Olu. Wike was not going to Igbo people, went to the market, we are sorry, everything.
He kept on apologizing.
They saw him walking on the road waving taxi, and social media is crazy. They're like, oh, what happened to Imoto? Imoto spoiled, and all of that. So we see him also doing
exact same thing happening.
Some kind, you understand? So, I mean, this weekend is going to be interesting.
It's going to be
I have my eyes on Delta, Lagos, and Ogun. Is another interesting place.
Do you think? I think that Abiodun
would own it again.
Well, we're based on incumbency, and I mean, if
but word on the street is that the people are also frustrated in Ogun State.
Exactly. In fact, not even if you go too far, even just around the fringes of Lagos too, you see
the border town.
Yeah, exactly. So now the ADC, funny enough, headed or the candidate being supported by Senator Amosu, who is fully APC, but coming on ADC campaign, and politicians are just doing anything they like these days. The PDP seems quiet, but I think the ADC
is a strong
and
candidate.
the APC, there's going to be serious contention. Oyo too is another interesting.
Well, I think Sheyi Makinde is taking that.
Yeah, but the APC.
I think so.
So now something happen or something is happening again. When people talk about, this party will support this party for presidency and this, and I remind them that in 2015, there were a lot more PDP states, PDP governed states. APC had probably only Nasarawa and Yobe.
Very few states, but now it has
immediately
lopsided.
And we heard from Governor Aliyu, or Senator, I don't know, did he make Senate again? Aliyu Babangida, that they Northerners supported Buhari, even though they were in PDP. What happened is that immediately Buhari won, almost all those states
They moved to APC.
Moved to APC. All those PDP people lost their relevance. So again, we saw where people like Makinde, doing the whole thing, G5 and all of that.
And he was a loner. And he
Or
did
the
well.
G broke. So now, are we now going to, because these politicians, they're funny. They could be preaching there that, look, top is APC. We don't need any rainbow coloration here. Let's just color the broom all the way. You never can tell. So, yes, in fact, some people are of the opinion that, coming back to Governor Sanwo-Olu, that since he was following Asiwaju up and down doing presidential, that when Asiwaju finished election, Asiwaju said, come, Jide, don't you have election in 2 weeks? He said, yeah, go for your election, no, leave me alone.
No, but I think leave our governor alone. We are hoping we'll get the chance.
They should not just iron his jeans again. You see, this is the thing I'm telling you about. See, every little thing matters.
Yes.
Every little thing matters. Like, who did that?
I iron my jeans.
Ha, with ghettos.
Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of what are you saying? Hashtag where is the gubernatorial race? My dear brother and namesake Daniel made mention of an aspirant remembering people of the good works he has done for 4 years to be voted for again. But supposing he never did any good work, I hope this time people will be allowed to vote for the people of their choice and not imposing someone on the people. Democracy is supposed to be of the people, by the people, and for the people, but the opposite is the case in Nigeria. So good to have my namesake in the studio. I happen to be his fan. My name is Daniel Ilowe's regular fan.
Thank you, Daniel. This comment, I wish you want to read it. Let's not read that one. But thank you so much, Dan. I think we had fun discussing it. But like,
Will you show me the comment later?
Yeah. So the thing is, right, I'm hoping that, we're able to speak with Governor Sanwo-Olu, because it's also pertinent that, that you speak across, because they've also accused me that it's also Labour Party I'm interviewing, and I keep on saying that now the person will answer us yes, now we go put for sure. But hey, I think listening to you is going to be a fun election, and I think maybe that's why they needed that 1 more week just to go wet ground, because now within this week 9 weeks begin they go market, Sanwo-Olu they go computer village. But Makinde, I've not heard any troubling news about Makinde's re-election. The only one I heard is more of Ogun State.
Most of those parts of Nigeria don't really invest in media.
Yeah, they don't do social media like Lagos. That is the thing that is worrying Sanwo-Olu, honestly. Our Lagosians were not smiling at all. Only little thing you do, they put you on social media.
And I want to say that I hope and I pray that, as a people in wanting change, we have to be we can't be emotional.
No, we can't.
We can't
we have to be strategic.
We have to be strategic.
Change has always been a strategic.
And we have to do it right. So we can't just say that, because this or... Yes, we all have our personal, things, but please,
let's be strategic, okay?
It will be interesting to see a turn of history in most states.
Right? I'm looking forward to Saturday.
See a turn of history.
I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to Saturday. But thank you so much, Dan. It's always fun talking politics. You make it exciting for us. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Chinelo, and thank you, Adiola. Now, before we go, do ensure you follow us across all our social media handles at Way Show Africa. You can drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media, like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed our quote for today, here it is again. Every citizen of this country should be guaranteed that their votes matters, that their vote is counted, and that in the voting booth, their vote has a much weight as that of any CEO, any member of Congress, or any president. I think this is what we are looking forward to for the gubernatorial election, because INEC, you once failed us. Let us not have that repeat of history again. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. It's our Ladies' Night Out, as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
Effiong Efa Inyong, who made waves as a sports journalist on radio, has thrown his hat into the ring to contest the governorship seat in Cross River State.
What is the role of the electorate in all of this?
I ask the electorate of Cross River State, look at this situation. Let us change it. As part of the things we will do to create employment in Cross River State is to say that we'll create more additional we'll create council development areas. That is, I will do what people don't think that money can do. I'll be saying it the way it is, as of right, as someone that is also on the field, that is also contending and contesting for office to make a difference.
Timeless Conversations, airing every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
So what are the top decisions that the United States considers necessary that Nigeria must take? I like to think of my interactions as conversations, not interviews. And that's why I say asking questions is both an art and a science. Everyone says in Islam you are allowed to have 4 wives. Is it mandatory? The right question enables answers that educate, inform, clarify, and help you, the viewer, to better understand the issue before making up your mind.
Our goal is to reduce from 10 to 2 days the time it takes to register businesses in Nigeria.
Join me every week on this station, Plustv Africa, and gain exclusive access to my conversations. I'm Angela Ajetumobi.
The leadership of Accord in Lagos State endorsed Governor Sanwo-Olu, his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, for re-election, and the APC candidates in Saturday's polls. Other political parties includes the Young Progressive Party, that's the YPP, the APP, Action Democratic Party, ADP, the Allied People's Movement, the Zenith Labour Party, the New Nigeria People's Party, and People's Redemption Party at an event held in Lagos. That announcement was made. I also understand that 7 governorship candidates have also stepped down for the APC governorship candidates of Lagos. And joining us to discuss this is Honorable Dele Oladeji, Lagos State Chairman, Accord Party. Hello, you're welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning.
We also have Theophilus Akatuba. He is a media consultant and public affairs analyst. Hello, Mr. Akatuba. You're welcome to the run-up.
And good to be with you in the period of jostling for the votes.
Yes, very interesting period indeed.
Yes, but we must appreciate the development we are recording.
Definitely. And not forgetting my co-host, Adebayo Olowake. Adebayo, it's good to still have you with us.
Yes, my pleasure always.
All right, let me start with you, Mr. Dele Oladeji of the Labour Party. Accord Party, I beg your pardon. Your party has endorsed the governorship candidate of the APC. But also in Oyo State, your party split already. Some members of your parties are going for the APC, some for the PDP, and some are still with the Accord Party, confused, not sure what to do. And in 2017, one of your major stakeholders, Rashidi Ladoja, decamped from your party and joined another party. That makes me wonder how relevant your joining any other party at this point in time is, and why any other party should be jittery about your alliance with the APC at this point.
Okay, thank you so much. One thing is every politics is local.
So I'll speak majorly on Lagos State, where I'm the state chairman. But I'll touch a little on Oyo State. The sort of, what do I say, difference and then divergent group in Oyo State's accord is actually orchestrated by one of the party leaders there, in the person of Dr. Honorable Bukola Ajaja. She is the former national secretary. Though she's sitting tight, we have been trying to let us have a national congress since last year, January, so we can bring in a new set of leadership. But they realize their tenure has expired beyond the constitutional limits. They don't want to go. That's ourselves and the former national chairman, Alhaji Nalado Mohammed. So what she's doing in Oyo State is, I don't know, she's not disciplined, and she has been running a one-person show. So what she did actually was she went to endorse Sheyi Makinde.
That's your word against her.
Yeah, I'm saying it with every clear conscience. She endorsed Sheyi Makinde even without the knowledge of her partner in, let me say, electoral crime, Alhaji Mohammed Nalado. So now that's what caused the conflict. She endorsed Sheyi Makinde without the knowledge of her partner, and Alhaji Nalado is now fighting her back. But one thing is, our accord as a party still remain, the structure still remain with Barrister Oyeniji. And the leadership in Oyo State is still Mogaji Sunday Igbishola. So the party structure in Oyo State still remain, while Aja is on the fringe, trading with the party name, and Alhaji Mohammed Nalado on the fringe, trading with the party name. Now, I won't like to say much on Oyo State because it's out of my own jurisdiction. Now, in Lagos State, yes, we have endorsed Governor Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. And this is our very first time of forming an alliance with APC. APC have been the ruling party in Lagos State since 1999 when they were AD, AC, ACN, and APC now. But this very person I referred to in Oyo State, Ajaja, when we were pushing in Lagos State, we are very radical in Lagos State. We were pushing for a national congress, which is according to the party constitution and every other thing. She declined. Realized that any national congress will make her exit the seat. So we went to court and we won the case in May. So they look for a way to jeopardize or sabotage our efforts in Lagos State. So that's why they now bring in some imposters to lock down our tickets in Lagos State. So even I can say it with every clear conscience that if you look through the streets of Lagos State, if you see any poster of a court party in Lagos State, they are posters that we pasted in the local government election in 2021. So we have a situation whereby there's a person holding on to our governorship ticket, but he's not campaigning. It's like when a thief, if you steal a trumpet of a king, where will you blow it? So as a party, we went to court. We were trying to get our legitimate candidates on the list of INEC. Our party candidate for gubernatorial seats in Lagos State is Pastor Peter Obayuana. He's a retired deputy controller of prison. And then we have Sam Adigun for the Lagos Central District and others too. So we went to court. We're slugging down to get our list, our legitimate candidates on the list. It was unsuccessful, just like they have it in AA and ADC and so. So we can't sit back as a party and allow illegitimate person to go through the electoral system. They might get into office.
Now, between when your party aligned with the Labour Party before the presidential election and when you started having this, when did your candidacy change? And when did you start having problems with the candidate of the Accord Party?
Candidates of Accord Party has been on since the very time when candidate list was released last year, September. So we didn't actually align with Labour Party. I think there have been some misconception about that.
It was in the news.
Yes, what we did actually is we adopted Peter Obi. You understand? There is Alliance 1, two-party meeting together. There is coalition whereby you collapse your party into another party. We didn't do any of that. We only adopt Peter Obi as our preferred presidential candidate. And going to the state election, because one thing is, every politics is local.
How do you adopt a party candidate and not adopt the party?
Reason is we have someone holding on to our presidential ticket that is not, I can say, is a stranger to the party structure. Even though he lives in Lagos, he grew up in Lagos, he has no dealing with the party structure in Lagos. It's just like
the Accord Party in Lagos is in crisis, just as you are in Oyo State. Adebayo, want to come in here?
Yes, Maureen. I've been listening to Honorable Oladejo quite with rapt attention, and I wish to commend his grasp of things around him in Lagos, and then of course the region. Close to Lagos, which is on your state.
Yeah.
But I'm of the view, based on what he has said, that Accord Party has been in crisis everywhere, and it's like, in order to avoid not becoming relevant anymore, they decided to align with His Excellency Governor Sanwo-Olu, who obviously, as the incumbent, will be classified as a front runner. Okay, so how will they respond to that? That it is in order to remain relevant that they have adopted the governor. So they are not in any case doing the governor any good, because I don't see an electoral value. But maybe I'm wrong. So he can clarify this. Is it because they're in crisis and they want relevance, or what?
Okay, thank you so much. One thing is, we're actually not in crisis. By the peculiar nature of politics, there will always be some people trying to manipulate the system and take advantage of things. If you are not relevant,
you are in crisis. It's obvious from all that you've said and from all that's playing out. You are in crisis. Does the Accord Party still exist as a party?
It does. The structure is still solid, and we are just one united front.
What is the future of this party?
Even today, we are very relevant and we are very valid. We are very active. These people I'm referring to are external bodies.
Your party is adopting all the APC candidates. Is it across Lagos or across the country?
No, it's across Lagos. And why we do that, to answer the question of Mr. Oloke, is this: we are not doing this to retain relevancy. We are still very relevant. We are still very active. But the risk of keeping quiet, like this thing I'm saying on TV now, is not in the public, because we are not known to be causing wahala, fighting, and then causing fracas. We don't do that. We just went to the court straight. Now, the risk of allowing illegitimate people to go through the poll and get into public office, it's a disservice to the public. So our endorsement of Babajide Sanwo-Olu is not for relevance. We are very relevant. We are very active. We are doing this not to make the error of keeping quiet while people with lack of integrity get into public office. So we look around and look for candidates who are synonymous with our party ideology, with our value system. And we look around the three major parties on the ballot and realize Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is the ideal candidate, and he has shown capacity for that.
Mr. Katuba.
Yes.
How are you processing all that's playing out?
Well, are you talking in respect of the endorsements?
In respect of their endorsements and their alliances.
Yes, I do not. Alliances are not being formed. What we see here is endorsement. When a political party that is in an election began to assess its fortunes in an election and find out that is not likely to get the vote to win the election, might take the option of endorsing the candidate that, in their opinion, is most likely to win or is best suited to win, to ensure that those they consider not good enough will not snatch the victory. So it is alliances are deeper and broader and involve all manners of agreements, where different political parties set aside their differences and then come together in order to win more votes to form a government. But endorsement is necessarily not an alliance. It's actually one party looking at the circumstances. Because if you look at all the parties that have endorsed the governor, they are on their own not likely to make any significant impact in this election. But they have numbers of votes, pockets of supporters, that if added together to the vote of the candidate or the party they have endorsed, victory is surer, in order to prevent others they think will not do well. Because if you look at what they said that they were informed by the outstanding performance of the current government, and that they would not want to take chances so that all the developmental projects will be scuttled by the fact that the opposition or the most likely opposing candidate will be powered into power by sentiment. And so they are putting forces together to prevent that. So I think it's a positive development for the APC because the APC is confronting an election in which reasoning is not the subject. The electorate the set of electorate that they are confronted at the moment, they are like a mob without reasoning. They are only trying to do damage, not really about development. They are trying to retaliate for a hurt of the past. They are trying to, so the previous election in the presidential, some are going to vote against the APC because they consider or thought or think that the election was rigged in favor of the APC, the party they thought or they believe should not have won the election in their own calculation.
Okay,
and
so
that's why you think that the parties have decided to forestall or to slow that mob movement, that movement.
You say it's a positive development for the APC, but is it a positive development for democracy?
Well, it is a positive development. It means that parties can work together when the push comes to shove, when things get tougher. From what you see, there could even be higher levels of engagement in terms of proper alliances. And there are very many ways this can be done. But for now, this is a positive development. It means that all these other parties can sit on the table in the future with the APC and demand good government, and also even demand some levels of involvement in the future government.
But when parties align, I mean, we're talking about horse trading here. When they align, do they align because they care for the people, they care for development, they care for integrity, or they are just looking for positions and how to place their candidates and members in key positions? You're going to also answer that, but let Mr. Katuba take that first.
Yes. First, it is in the overriding interest. First is about the interest of the party. First, the reason is the party needs to survive beyond the election. And by endorsing a most likely candidate that will win, you secure opportunity for your party. Then, ultimately, is for the benefit of the people. If the party they so endorse is a performing party, if the candidate is a performer, and ultimately he delivers the good of the dividends of democracy, it means that their initially selfish agenda have turned out good for the people. But in many climes, it's for the good of the people that motivates them, because they want to make sure that the best candidate wins. If you read what they have said here, they are saying that we reach the decision consequence upon our thorough analysis of all the good works and rapid development. Anyone who lives in Lagos, you can point to a few things that are visible, that are very iconic, that are going on. And therefore, these parties are saying they want to sustain that. So
they want to sustain that.
Respect,
why, if they were that convinced, one would wonder.
Of the citizens.
Yeah, Mr. Katuba, if they were that convinced, one would wonder why they contested in the first place, why they threw up a candidate against this candidate that's been doing so well. Please answer the question I asked him that I said you're going to respond to.
Okay, are you with me still?
I've gone to the comrade.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks to Mr. Aka Dugba, right?
Yes.
Actually, when we were sitting down to decide, we are like duty bound as a party to put forward candidates. Now, when you get to like some things come up in your program, was the process of electoral activities, and some new things come up, you have to sit down and analyze the data and every other thing. Now, choosing Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, one thing I want us to realize is it's through a thought process. He wasn't the only person we thought we like consider. At least I reach out, as a party, we reach out to Labour Party. We talk for the space of like 1 week. And what we see with them, they are not
all right,
bad.
I'm gonna stop you there because I will not allow you to talk down on another party
in
favor of another party. But let me confirm, if Comrade Mandos Yusuf of Kaduna State has been able to join us. Hello, Comrade Yusuf. Okay, in the course of the program, we may be joined by Comrade Mandos Yusuf, APC Kaduna State. But at this point, Adebayo, do you want to?
Yes, please. A very interesting expose by Mr. Katuba. So I have two questions, one for Honorable Oladeji and the other one for Mr. Katuba. First, Honorable Oladeji, there are those who might wonder if your political party should still exist, because from everything you have told us, anyone who follows or has followed, the very clear explanation you have given, and you're arriving at endorsing His Excellency Governor Sanwo-Olu, they may be wondering why your political party should still be existing. What would you say to them? And after you, I would like Comrade Akatuba, who said it looks like there's a revenge voting. I would like him to clarify on that, because every voter has a choice to make. For whatever reason, they are making that choice. So maybe it would be good if Mr. Katuba would also clarify what he meant by that. But Oladeji, can you tell us whether your party should still exist?
Yes, our party is existing and will still continue to exist. Because one thing is that we endorse Governor Sanwo-Olu doesn't mean the party is going to extinction. We will still exist even beyond the election. Even as at now, we are still making plans beyond the election. Post-election plans are on ground, so we'll still continue to exist.
All right, Mr. Akatuba.
Yes, I'm with you.
Adebayo had asked a question.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You had said that it would appear that these parties endorsed His Excellency the Governor because it is assumed that those who voted in the last election against APC in Lagos appear to have been voting due to a vendetta. It would be nice for you to clarify exactly what you meant.
Yeah, from the analysis that was conducted, because it was a surprise. And when they looked at the data, the voting, population and pattern, they saw that there is this NSAS movement, NSAS youth that feel aggrieved that the NSAS matter was poorly managed, and that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the flag bearer of the party at the national level, is suspected to be behind the entire matter. And then that the governor ordered the military to crack down and disperse the youths at the toll gate. They have not forgiven the governor, and so such people are in the fray. Others feel that why should the APC present a Muslim ticket? And a lot of such people voted in reaction to that poor choice in their calculation. So there are these two sets of people, apart from the other set that believe that the APC has been holding office for too long. You also hear another set saying that there are miscreants and urchins and area boys on the street terrorizing them in the marketplace. And so you can see that all of this is, the choices are like retaliatory in order to pay back for the ills that each of these voters have suffered in the past. Others are making their choices purely on their own perceive or their own observation of the candidate as someone that is competent. And that's a very small number of the opposing votes. So this is the analysis. But in the governorship election, a lot of the NSAS youth are still jostling to pay back. And then you still have the majority of the voters of the Labour Party who in their opinion are angry that they were shortchanged. They are thinking that their mandate was not given to them, that they had won the election. Such are still waiting to repeat that protest vote by voting. It's not as if they do not feel some development and good governance in Lagos, but they want to just make a statement that we are still in the numbers. So this is why you see this endorsement is a big boost. It weakens those who believe that the APC is finished. When they read and they see other parties making public declaration like this, it continues to weaken the resolve of those who want to vote against them, and might even annoy them not to come to the polls. And so they are looking for these opportunities
Well, Mr.
to show.
Akatuba, that's an interesting analysis you've given, but I'm wondering at the weight of these parties, how strong are these parties that have endorsed the APC? How strong are they enough to intimidate others?
They are not individually very strong, but take note, the SDP has made some good inroads. When I saw the SDP there, the SDP candidate seems to have won some liking. In the current elections, you'll find that the votes count, and every vote is important. How many votes? It took about 9,000 votes for the Labour Party to defeat the APC in the presidential election. If you look at it again, if that number, if this endorsement might bring 20,000 votes, because the votes now do count. And therefore, the SDP, the YPP, the Accord, they have pocket members and supporters and family members. So when you multiply that, it can become something, and therefore they can outdo their fiercest opposition. So there's no single vote that is not important in this critical and highly contested elections.
Indeed, every single vote counts. I've had with me Mr. Theophilus Akatuba, media consultant, public affairs analyst. I also have Honorable Dele Oladeji, the Lagos State Chairman of the Accord Party. These are some of the guests I have. We're expecting someone from Kaduna State, Comrade Mandos Yusuf, who is an APC member in Kaduna State, to join us in the course of this program. I also have Mr. Adebayo Olawake, my virtual co-host, with me. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
According to Minister of State for Health, Dr. Olorunimbe Mamora, about 18 states in the Federation are still endemic, with more than 1,000 new leprosy cases yearly. He explained that the number of new leprosy cases detected yearly has significantly dropped from over 7,827 in 1994 to less than 2,000 in 2020. The Voice of Humanitarian Aid's Foundation took to the streets to march against the ostracization of people affected by leprosy and loud about changing the narrative. At her office, the National Coordinator of Voice of Humanitarian Aid's, Franca Emekobum, shared the group's experiences on the field with people affected by leprosy.
Even we that are even speaking up for them, sometimes, it wasn't easy for our families and our friends to even accept, that what we are doing is not risky. They are even afraid to come close to me. They're scared. They say, oh, no. We don't want you and this your leprosy people, please.
Franca maintained that discriminating against the people with leprosy in itself is a deadly disease.
Already they are in pain. Already they are in sorrow. We should not add to that sorrow by discriminating against them. Rather, we should, come together as, people of God, one nation, one love, one family.
Dr. Yohan Akase is the head of infectious diseases at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth. He confirmed that leprosy is not contagious.
With leprosy, the truth of the matter is that over 90% of people, in fact, that's a conservative estimate to be honest, but over 90% of people who get exposed to leprosy are not going to have leprosy. Okay? So yes, it's not such a contagious infectious disease in the context of how we look at contagion, that if somebody has leprosy, touches you, you're going to get leprosy. In fact, it's well known that there are a certain, for lack of a better word, genetic predispositions to getting, not everybody is going to get leprosy, even if they get exposed to that. Picking somebody who has already had a deformity at that time to keep him isolated, apart from the fact that it's not interrupting the chain of transmission, it has, like you said, it entrenches the concept of stigma, denies them of being productive, being rehabilitated and getting on with their lives, living a normal life as possible. And also, generally, doesn't achieve much, to be honest.
G. Mohammed is a survivor of leprosy. He was affected at the age of 19 when he gained admission into Ahmadu Bello University but could not continue his studies.
That was 1999, the first time I just detected that I got a leprosy, because I don't even know that it's a leprosy before. I was just told that I have some patches in my body, which I was just thinking that it's just be a ringworm. They are calling it a las egedomi. And I went to some people that are selling the herbs, that okay, I need the herbs for this thing, and they give it to me, and I'm using it. After using it, I don't even see any changes. That is why my mom just took me to one herbalist, which we are calling Babalawo, and the man just said that this one is leprosy.
The father of 3 recalled how he battled with discrimination.
During that time, I have some challenges with some maybe neighbors, even in where I'm living with my mom. One of the person that, the owner of the house, because we rented that house by then, we just said that, this one, we have to take it outside, because his father has house. Definitely you should go to his father's house. Don't let me lie to you. My faith is not solid by then, because I was just thinking, asking God, why me?
The survivor is the chairman of the Association of People Affected with Leprosy and the PRO of the national body. He is particular about ensuring that nobody with leprosy ends up as a beggar on the streets.
Hello and welcome to Space and Staff.
Federal government postpones national population census to May. As Independent National Electoral Commission begins distribution of sensitive materials for the governorship and state assembly polls. United States Secretary of State needs Ethiopian government leaders to repair ties. And United States says Russian fighter jet hit American drone over Black Sea. Good evening to you. I am Justin Akadonye, and this is the news now on Plustv Africa. We'll begin with the Federal Executive Council meeting, and the federal government has approved $2.8 billion for the procurement of software for the National Population Commission for the conduct of the national census in May 2023. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, announced this that the 2023 population and housing census, earlier scheduled for March the 29th, has been moved to May that year. He explained that the decision was necessitated by the rescheduling of the governorship elections from March 11 to March the 18th. FEC has also approved the Nigeria Agenda 2050, a plan aimed at increasing real GDP growth by 7%, creating 165 million Naira new jobs and reducing the number of people living in poverty to 2.1 million in 2050. And now to election matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Lagos State has commenced the movement of sensitive materials to be used for the governorship and House of Assembly elections to the 20 local government areas of the state. The exercise, led by INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in the state, Olusegun Agbaje, and the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, CP Idowu Owonwa, was monitored by various stakeholders. Speaking to newsmen, Agbaje, who noted that INEC was ready to conduct free, fair, and credible elections on Saturday, called for cooperation and support of stakeholders. According to him, the sensitive materials are secured and intact for every stakeholder to see the transparency of the commission. He noted that the onward distribution of the materials from the councils to the 20 or 245 wards of the state will begin on Thursday.
We are here again as the election for Saturday approaches. Election for governorship and state House of Assembly. In Lagos State, we are having about 40 constituencies where we are going to conduct election for on Saturday. And here we are at the Central Bank of Nigeria, Tinubu Square, Lagos, to collect our sensitive materials. We should be escorted from here by security agencies to all the 20 local government areas of the state. We are going to impress it on our electoral officers and our SPOs that they should please endeavor to ensure that these forms go along with the various forms going to the various PUs in the state. We have 13,325 PUs, and we are sure these forms will get to them.
The police has a responsibility to be around, oversee the sharing and distribution of the sensitive materials. It is a standard that these sensitive materials you are seeing cannot be shared without police presence. So we're here to ensure that it's shared transparently and in the presence of all the party agents and other stakeholders.
Also from Ekiti State, INEC commenced the distribution of sensitive materials from the Central Bank in Ado-Ekiti to various local government areas. State Resident Electoral Commissioner Professor Ayobami Salami supervised the distribution, which was witnessed by representatives of various political parties. Addressing journalists, Professor Salami said the sensitive materials were customized in batches for easy and quick deployment to various local government areas. Also speaking, Chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Owola Daramola, urged INEC to ensure a seamless conduct of the election.
There's this saying that every politics is local. This is where we actually deal with local politics. Each constituency is a point of focus at this particular election. The one we had last time was a general election and was national. But this one, you have local election in all the constituency in Ekiti, and we have 26 of them. So there are 26 areas of focus. And therefore, it's a very serious matter, and we are not taking it lightly. And I want to assure we are even much more prepared for this one than we are better prepared for this one than the last election.
Yeah, so far with this process, I think it is a better arrangement because like this morning, everything probably was well organized and well planned, unlike the last one. So I think the postponement has actually yielded a positive result as of today. And I wish it continues like this until the end of the election. And I want to probably say this, that if they continue like this, I think Nigerians will have confidence in the process. But
in the same vein, INEC and agents of political parties have inspected sensitive materials sent to Benue State. The electoral umpire said the materials are safe and ready for distribution to the 23 local government areas.
They were brought here shortly before the presidential election, and we were only informed that your materials have arrived. So we want to ensure that these materials are brought out, inspected by the political parties. Because at the end of the day, INEC is accountable to the political parties. Because parties constitute the institutional foundation of democracy. So we want to manifest that tradition of transparency by bringing media people and political parties together so that you can see that the ballot papers for the governorship election already batched on the basis of local governments, and the ballot paper for state constituency election, they are also here along with their result sheets.
On its part, the Central Bank of Nigeria Makurdi office said the materials were kept with premium security and will leave the Apex Bank's premises sealed and delivered.
They are as safe as that. As we are given, we transported them here, handled some form of logistics, we're handing them over. We don't even know what is inside. All we have is a manifest, and that's what we're handing over. You need various levels of collusion to do that. You have to collide with physical security, the electronic security, the eyes in the sky, the motion sensors, and so many other things I cannot disclose. You know, and then, like in every other bank, nobody starts or finishes the process. You do your own part, you hand over to the next group, do their own part, and things like that. Various levels of authorizations, various levels of checks and balances.
And now from Kaduna State, INEC has assured residents of its readiness to conduct free, fair and transparent elections for emergence of new democratic leaders in the country. The Commission gave the assurance at the distribution of sensitive materials to all the 23 local government areas. The State Administrative Secretary, Mohammed Mashi, says there is no cause for alarm as they have provided security at all polling units.
Thing is set. We are now at the Central Bank branch of Nigeria branch here in Kaduna, and what we are doing is that we are taking back the material which we reversed after we had already sent them for the 11th March state governorship and state house of assembly elections. But things are okay, and this is Wednesday the 15th. So just have 3 or 4 days more to the 18th, which is the scheduled date for the next election. So I can confidently tell you, yes, the elections are going to hold on 10th of March 2023, talking about the governorship and state house of assembly elections.
The political parties commended the electoral umpire for its readiness to deliver transparent elections. Also, some of the political parties expressed concerns over the omission of their party logos in the last election in Kachia local government area, urging the Commission to fulfill its promise in ensuring all parties are well represented.
We have been spurred to action. People should come out en masse and monitor the distribution of these materials from the various local governments to the various wards, to the various polling units, and cast their vote, stay and defend their mandate. They should not give room for any body to play any pranks on them. And I want to call on the electorates in Kaduna State to make sure that after voting in every polling unit, they should stay and make sure the presiding officer sends the results through beavers to the INEC result viewing portal before he leaves that place, no matter what.
we want to make sure that every of the ballot box paper has been opened to see that we have the Labour Party logo on it so that they will not repeat the same issue that occurred the last time. So it should be held. So we're okay with what we've seen today. Appealing to the security agency, the EFCC, the police, all those are involved in this operation to make sure that they go out so that the election will be free and fair. There will be no snatching of box, no oppression, not putting anybody in duress to see that they vote the candidate is not of their choice.
Well, staying in Kaduna State, the amalgamation of deregistered political parties in the state has declared their support for a governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Uba Sani. Speaking at the press conference in the NUJ Secretariat in Kaduna, the secretary of the forum, Ambassador Mato Yakubu, said they decided after a wide consultation with members and a network of stakeholders and opinion leaders.
Wholeheartedly endorsed the candidature of distinguished Senator Obasani of the All Progressive Congress APC as the preferred choice for the governor of Kaduna State in the election slated for March 18, 2023. This endorsement comes with our full support to deploy our team to serve as canvassers, street captains, gatekeepers, and anti-rigging squad to help ensure that the APC and Dr. Uba Sani emerge victorious in the governorship election because he is the man for the job.
The forum maintained that Uba Sani has done well in the areas of human capital development and infrastructure in some of the rural local government areas of his constituency and proposed a bill that has killed all parliamentary processes to establish some critical educational infrastructure.
We have, before arriving at this juncture, consulted widely with our members and network of stakeholders and a high-performing senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. These wide-ranging consultations provided us with the mandate to make the declaration of support, disturbed by the negative signals coming from some political parties who have decided to create a political gimmick they called the Muslim ticket. This phrase is a carnage of the opposition in Kaduna State. The APC only gave voice to our women who have been kept in the backyard for long.
And now to Imo State, the Independent National Electoral Commission says the inconclusive Umbitole and Ikeduru federal constituency polls will take place on Saturday the 18th alongside the State House of Assembly elections. As a result, the All Progressives Congress chieftain Charles Amadi says the party is ready for the election, explaining that the Labour Party should stop accusing the ruling party of using the military to intimidate the opposition.
There were a lot of overvoting on the part of the Labour Party candidate that we have made presentations to the appropriate INEC officials. I don't know why he would say so. Some of them have no identity. It's not a question of just putting obese signboard here and there and going about on that election. I'm pretty sure there will be no OB on the ballot box when we come in for a rerun. He should be able to answer his father's name. Our own candidates should be able to answer his father's name, and they go with whoever the voters love. I'm pretty sure he knows. That's why he's making crying, say, loco. That's nothing. Most importantly, this election will be determining the field.
Ahead of Saturday's governorship and House of Assembly polls, the president of the Church of Brethren, Reverend Joy Beatty, has urged Nigerians not to lose hope in the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in conducting free and fair elections. The clergy advised all and sundry to troop out to cast their vote for their preferred candidates.
We are in the season of elections in Nigeria. Sadly, our election is characterized by thuggery, violence, and manipulations of election processes and result by INEC staff, politicians, and some agents in government. This is not only sad, but an insult to the collective sensibilities of Nigerians. I want to call on Professor Yakubu and his team to ensure that they do the right thing in the forthcoming gubernatorial through House of Assembly elections. I also call on our members not to give up on INEC, but rather come out in mass.
And straight now to Plateau State, the flag bearer of the Labour Party in the February 25 presidential election has assured the people of the state that he will employ all legal means to reclaim the mandate that was given to him by Nigerians. He made this known at the Yakubu Gowon Airport in Haipang, Plateau State, during a stopover visit to the state. Peter Obi, who was also in the state to drum up support for the Labour Party candidate, urged Nigerians not to abandon the struggle for a better Nigeria, as their efforts will never be in vain.
And I'm thanking them and urging them to go out on the 18th of March to continue in the same vein of supporting that movement of a new Nigeria, which is anchored on Labour Party. Of all those who contested, I don't think you see any of them going around.
No, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
The only one going around.
Yes, sir.
Our daddy. Plateau State is one of those places that I can call home.
Yes, sir.
And I assure you your support.
What I want to offer to the Plateau State people is leadership. A leadership that is focused, a leadership that is outcome oriented, a leadership that is chaired and empowered by people who are experienced, people who are capable, people who have the capacity, people who have the credentials, and people who are compassionate. We have taken this as a genetic code from people.
And now to Adamawa State, where former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has arrived in Yola ahead of Saturday's governorship and state assembly polls. Fielding questions from newsmen at the airport, he said he is optimistic that his party will win all elective posts. He urged his supporters to troop out en masse and vote for Governor Amadu Omar Fintiri and other candidates.
If there is any governor that deserves a second term, it should be Governor Amadu Fintiri. I have worked with governors from 1999 up to this point in time. I can tell you, not because he's here, I'm not afraid of him. Nobody, no governor has impacted on the lives of the people of this state better than Amadu Fintiri. Take the various sectors, take the social sector, take the educational sector, take the healthcare sector, and then look at the infrastructure, both urban and rural. I mean, also look at the security situation in the state. So I think he deserves a second term so that he can continue to do the good work he has been doing.
To Enugu State now, the Nsukka Professionals Association, NPA, has raised the alarm over alleged plans by some politicians to import armed thugs in police and military uniforms into Enugu State to aid the alleged attempt to hack the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS and IREF portal during the governorship and State House of Assembly elections. The association called on the Inspector General of Police and military authorities to act fast by frustrating the plan, which it said was aimed at disrupting elections in some part of the state. While briefing journalists in Lagos on the threat of violent and widespread electoral malpractices in the March 18 elections, the president of the association, Charles Nwodo, said professional hackers had been contracted by one of the parties to compromise the electoral process by transmitting fake results into the INEC portal.
The Nsukka Professionals Association, a non-partisan and important stakeholder in Enugu State, hereby calls attention to the following developments, which, if left unattended to, may plunge Enugu State into a needless orgy of violence and lawlessness in the build-up to the gubernatorial and state assembly elections. A. Unresolved high-profile alleged assassination. The brutal assassination of the Labour Party candidate for Enugu East Senatorial District in the days preceding the February 25, 2023 elections by individuals who are yet to be apprehended. We are appalled that no arrests have been made and no suspects have been interrogated by the security agencies to date. The Inspector General of Police is implored to dispatch a special team of detectives to Enugu State with a mandate to seek out and apprehend all those directly or indirectly connected with this heinous crime, no matter their status or extent of connections in the society. The Nsukka Professional Associations announces a donation of 1 million naira to the family of the slain politician in humanitarian solidarity for their grief, along with all persons of goodwill in Enugu State and Nigeria. It is our resolve to ensure that this crime is thoroughly investigated and justice served on the guilty in accordance with our laws.
And away from election matters now, following Tuesday's renewed attack that claimed at least 6 lives and many injured in Langsan community, Zango Kataf local government area of Kaduna State, the national president of Atiap Development Association, Samuel Ache, said this at the scene of the attack and lamented over the failure of security agencies to stop the incessant attacks. Hence, he calls for the immediate redeployment. The Atiap Community Development Association passed a vote of no confidence on the section of the security operatives.
If this government is a government we all work together to bring into power, what have we done so bad that our people are being killed in their numbers and the government is mute about it? Now, what we want as a people, as a nation, is the security personnel in this land are no longer protecting us. It is the responsibility of government to protect our lives and our properties. But because government is not doing that, we are begging government. We are on our knees asking the government to repatriate all the security personnel. We want to take our fate in our hands. We return back to go to from whom we came. Exactly. And we are pleading any further delay, the government should not blame us.
Yes. Definitely.
We have nothing. We have no power. We have no weapons. But we have God. And in that
Now, experts have stressed the need on getting key deliverables in the survey profession in Nigeria, which must involve re-engineering the profession and moving away from old analog strategy of solving problems confronting the practice. Now, this was the thrust of the 2023 Annual General Meeting and luncheon of the Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, Lagos State Chapter, themed Re-engineering Professionalism in the Private Sector Towards Service Delivery. Speakers at the event also called for a paradigm shift from using old analog strategy to solving contemporary problems being confronted in the practice. They also called for a change of business model and a look at developing new contemporary soft skills in terms of negotiation, presentations, and their practice.
The way we run our practice, we should migrate from just thinking in terms of subsistence practice. Myself, my family, we look at the way of building the nation through the techniques that we have acquired. We need to look at our curriculum in the universities, at the tertiary institutions, and are the curriculum sufficient for the challenges that we are facing today? How do we deploy technology to make our clients better? How do we use the soft skill of trying to retain our clients in terms of client service, customer service, and retainership?
Before, surveyors have been practicing, we have so many obsolete instruments that many of us have been using. But 2019, Lagos State government remapped the whole of Lagos State. They remapped the whole of Lagos State. And because of that, the instruments we are using before cannot be used for that thing now. So we have to key into it, make arrangements with some companies that they must help us for our colleagues to get all these instruments.
I want to overemphasize the importance of the surveyors to us because
They are our takeoff points as architects when we want to start our designs. They are the ones who delineate the sites, the land sites that we are working on, the boundaries, the direction, and so on, which helps us to determine our orientation for the building we're designing. Government legislation has to make the citizenry more aware to know that they must contract or consult professionals before they do anything, from purchasing of the land to designing to construction.
And now to other parts of Africa. Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister have hosted the United States Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. The U.S. top diplomat, who is set to visit 2 countries on the continent, will first meet with Ethiopian federal officials and Tigrayan representatives in Addis Ababa. The diplomat discussed the implementation of the peace deal that ended the war in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, as well as humanitarian support. Recall that the conflict led the U.S. to suspend some preferential trade agreement with Ethiopia, which could also be on the agenda. Now, thousands of sub-Saharan African students in Tunisia are still fearful after a surge of racist attacks following comment by President Kais Saied against illegal immigration and are seeking concrete steps to protect them. The violence erupted after Saied blamed hordes of illegal migrants from sub-Saharan Africa for most crime in Tunisia and alleged there was a criminal plot to change the nation's demographic makeup. At least 100 students made emergency repatriations, mostly to Mali, Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Niger, according to Hongang, who comes from Cameroon. Now, the violence has abated and students have returned to classes. Now, no physical attacks have been recorded since the 7th of March, but verbal attacks persist and the foreign students remain on guard. And now, Somalia's military court has executed 3 Al-Qaeda-affiliated terror group senior officers in the nation's capital of Mogadishu by firing squad. The officers were found guilty of carrying out bombings and murders throughout the country, and in particular in Mogadishu, according to the court. Now, 13 people from the Al-Shabaab and ISIS-Daesh terrorist groups were also executed in the northeastern semi-autonomous state of Puntland earlier this month. The executions ordered by a military court took place around Galkayo, Garowe, and the state commercial capital of Bosaso. The court in the region also executed 6 soldiers after they were convicted of carrying out killings in Portland. Now, jihadist hit Niger has killed about 30 members of the Boko Haram group and detained 960 followers, most of them women and children, who had fled to Nigeria. The state television channel Tele Sahel said aerial surveillance spotted a massive movement of people along the Kamadugu-Yoge River, which marks the border between the 2 countries, who were headed towards Lake Chad. The report said they were members of the Boko Haram jihadist group who were fleeing their hideout in the Sambisa forest in northeastern Nigeria after coming under pressure from their rivals, the Islamic State of West African province ISWAP. Now, ISWAP split from Boko Haram in 2016 and rose to become the dominant group in the region's long-running jihadist turmoil. Now, over 10,000 supporters of Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko have massed at a field in the capital, Dakar, the first of 3 days of planned protest in support of the aspiring presidential candidate who faces a libel case set to resume this week. Details in this report.
Over 10,000 people gathered in Senegal's capital on Tuesday for the first of 3 planned days of protest. They're supporters of opposition leader Ousmane Sonko. This demonstration is the latest expression of tensions in the run-up to a 2024 election. That vote could see President Macky Sall run for a controversial 3rd term. That would be unconstitutional, says the opposition. Candidat Faye was among crowds who gathered at a field in Dakar.
We ask Macky Sall to simply stop. He is done. He must stop this 3rd-term business. He must let others run, and he must let Ousmane Sonko be a candidate. No to the 3rd term.
Sall has declined to comment on whether he plans to run. The election would pit him against an opposition field led by Sonko. He came third in the last election, but has since gained clout, particularly among disillusioned urban youth.
We are tired. We don't have jobs. Life is expensive and everything is hard. We have a president who locks up its youth. We are tired.
Sonko is due in court on Thursday to resume hearings related to libel charges. He allegedly accused Senegal's tourism minister of embezzlement. Sonko is also facing trial on charges of rape and making death threats to a beauty salon employee in 2021, which he denies. President Sall's opponents accuse him of trying to weaken the competition with false accusations and political trials ahead of the election, which the government rejects.
And outside the continent now, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin says Russian jets violated international law and behaved in a dangerous and reckless manner. This is coming a day after the crash of a U.S. military drone into the Black Sea after being intercepted by Russian fighter jets. In the fourth such incident since the Ukraine war began, Russia's Su-27 jet struck the propeller of the unmanned drone and made it inoperable.
A troubling episode yesterday. I know that everyone here has heard that Russian aircraft again engaged in dangerous, reckless, and unprofessional practices on Tuesday in international airspace over the Black Sea. 2 Russian jets dumped fuel on an unmanned U.S. MQ-9 aircraft conducting routine operations in international airspace. And 1 Russian jet intercepted and hit our MQ-9 aircraft, resulting in a crash. This hazardous episode is a part of a pattern of aggressive and risky and unsafe actions by Russian pilots in international airspace. So make no mistake, the United States will continue to fly and to operate wherever international law allows. And it is incumbent upon Russia to operate its military aircraft in a safe and professional manner.
Meantime, Russia says it will try to retrieve the remnants of a U.S. drone that crashed into the Black Sea. The large MQ-9 Reaper drone plunged into the water on Tuesday. Now, the U.S. said it brought down the damaged drone after it became unflyable when a Russian jet clipped its propeller, but Moscow has denied these claims. Speaking on state television, Russian Security Council Secretary Nikolai Patrushev confirmed Moscow was attempting to find the aircraft. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz says Sweden's and Finland's NATO accession is critical for the security in Europe. Scholz said this during a visit by Sweden's Prime Minister to Berlin, speaking alongside Ulf